Before heading to the video, if you haven't subscribed the channel, do subscribe it and don't forget to click the bell icon for the latest update notification. If you like the video, do like, comment and share. Stay tuned with learnbay.co. Happy learning!
We are going to be a bit mature in the things. Why? Because we have studied. So we are going to name the things first, okay, so that our concepts are built around it. Okay, so the population, this term very much looks similar to the number of people as a population. That is not this population. This is usually we use population as number of people only, right? But here in stats, the population is used as the whenever we are talking about the superset of any quantity that we are going to discuss. For example, to give you an example, yesterday also we were talking, like for example, if we are going to see sales of a particular vehicle. Okay, so for the collection of vehicle or the number of vehicles that we are going to talk about overall, okay, would be my population. Okay, or for example, if we are going to talk about say sales of vehicle of a particular company, okay, so my population now will change only to that company, okay, limited to that company. You understand? The population will change based on our definition. So whatever we are going to study, all the things, okay, the total amount of things that we are going to study is called population. Understood? For example, okay, one more example. For example, if I am saying that I'm going to study anything about people of Bangalore, their literacy rate, their economical status, or anything. Like recent example, maybe like what is the COVID positive rate in Bangalore. Okay, so can you tell me what is my population in this case?
So basically the data set what we are going to have is called as the population, right?
No.
The first data set what we are going to receive
No,
from
no,
the
no.
client.
Data set may be sample also. I'll tell you how. We are going to discuss how, but just stick to what we have just studied. Population refers to the total number of things that we are going to study. So what is total amount of things?
Total number of the patient with COVID positive.
No. We are going to discuss about overall Bangalore. What is the rate of COVID positive? Okay. What is their educational, what is literacy rate? Okay. So I have to study, if I'm talking about population, so I have to consider overall Bangalore. Yes or no?
Yes.
All the peoples in Bangalore.
Yes.
Right. Now, someone said that the data in front of us. So for example, yesterday we were talking about that we cannot afford to study population. For example, say I as a person, I am not an organization, but I as a person want to know about the literacy rate just for my say final year submission of a project that I am making. I want to do a survey, survey. So I want to do survey. Can I afford to go and interview all of the people residing in Bangalore? No, right? Right. So what I'll do is I'll interview a few set of people. Okay. I would like to be more precise or more unbiased as possible. So I'll get multiple samples, but for now just consider I picked one sample from and the color represent from different community, different economical background, or different areas for that matter. Okay, it can ranges from different things. Whatever, how much accurate you can be, you can think about it and you can include them in your sample. Okay, that having said that, we will study in sampling. Okay, I'm not going to discuss that here, but just think about it. So whenever I'm going to sample, the data in front of me would be sample or population in front of me. Sample. Everyone is clear?
Yeah.
So
yes.
So the data mostly in front of us would be sample and not population. Okay, so what we will do is, I am not going to straightforwardly study about population. I'll study sample, and then I'll make up my mind about the population. This is what we discussed yesterday. Anyone has any confusion?
No.
Yes, one more thing that we can debate that, Dhruv, you are saying that we are studying population, we are studying sample, okay? So we might not represent the population properly. Yes, that danger is there whenever we are going to, study from sample about the population. That, you can say drawback is there, okay? But since we cannot afford to study about population, that is the reason we don't have any other way than to study from the sample and then infer about population. You understand? Okay, all these things we have discussed yesterday, but just putting it in words today. Okay, now whatever we are drawing, that is called sample. That is called sample. For example, in the example which I took just now, for example, I was going to talk about, I was talking about the Bangalore, or for example, for that matter, any city, you just assume your city. Okay, so what I did is I took a sample out of it. So what does that mean in real life? For example, I was talking about my city. Okay, so Bangalore. Now I cannot afford to go ahead and interview all the people. So what I did is I went ahead and interviewed people from Whitefield, all the peoples from Whitefield. Or even if I don't afford all the people from Whitefield, that is my location, what I can do, instead of I can decrease the sample, okay? Or you can say decrease the sample size, okay? Sample size means, I'm going to talk about that next, but for now just think about it. So just my locality, like 100 houses. Even if I'm not, even if I cannot afford that, I can simply, from my building or apartment, okay? So those things, or at least 4 or 5 apartments on my surrounding, from based on different economical background, based on different, different caste, creed, or whatever you are studying. Just see the variability, how whatever we are going to study, does that vary according to what features. For example, if I'm going to talk about the economical background, obviously I'm going to ask questions to the people who are unemployed, who are working in private sector, who are working with government. So those things, okay, those things how to do comes in sampling. But you understand what is sample. So this can also be a sample, this can also be a sample, this can also be a sample. Okay, so whatever is drawn from the population as a group or a subset, okay, from population, that is a sample. Now this sample size, that is total amount of things in a sample, okay, this may be large, small, based on your convenience or the way you want. Okay, you understand? So I can only afford to interview people from my building. So my what is my sample size? For example, number of people in my building is 100, so my sample size is going to be 100. Say for example, I enrolled and I collaborated with an NGO. They have a budget that they can interview the whole Whitefield. Okay, so there the sample size becomes 1 lakh. Any confusion in this?
No.
Okay, now so we know what is population and what is sample, right? What is population and what is sample? So sample is, as per definition, small part of population that is used for study. Okay, or the best word to use, not the small part, but whenever someone asks you, use this word, subset. Okay. Understand?
Dhruv, one doubt here.
Mm-hmm.
From a population, right? Total population. Can we draw multiple samples for different regions, like takes that you took example of?
So that is the correct way of sampling. This is not the correct way. This is just for representation that I have shown. Okay.
So like one sample for like economic data background of the people, one for their
That is
literacy. right?
Uh-huh,
Can we do that?
So that is also one of the one of the ways that we do sampling. We have a whole chapter for the ways of sampling. You understand?
Yeah.
That is one of this is nothing but you can say another type of sampling. One sampling that you all of you would have done at one point of time, that is called random sampling. That means, for example, if I have 100 people in a population, now we know population, that is the reason I'm using that word. Okay, so for example, I have 100 quantities in a population. Okay, so as a population, then if I have to select 5, so randomly I'll select 5, right? That is how we do in real life. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right. So that is the most common way of sampling that we do, but that is not the best sampling. We have better type of sampling available. Okay, so that we don't miss out with the groups. Okay, understood? We'll see when we'll study whole chapter of sampling. Okay, we'll see 4 or 5 different types of sampling that we can do from the same population. Okay,
Sure, Dhruv.
okay. Now the term comes sample size. What does that mean? Is total number of things that we study in a sample, or total number of things that are present in our sample. So this sample size is kind of dependent upon us, okay, or depends on how we are choosing the sample. If I want to choose a bigger sample, I can choose just now mentioned, okay, or smaller number of things, that also I can choose. Okay, one more thing which I haven't mentioned it here is there is one more term, number of samples. Okay, this is nothing but, just now someone asked if we can draw one sample or multiple samples. So this is nothing but how many samples we are drawing from population. So we can draw, say 3 samples. Okay, I'm just assuming. So what is my number of samples? 3. Understand? But what is my sample size? That is related to the sample that we are discussing. For example, this is sample 1, this is sample 2, this is sample 3. So sample size of S2 would be 5. Why? Because there are 5 objects in this particular sample. But what is number of sample? Total number of samples that we have to count, 3. You understand the difference what we are talking about?
Yes, Dhruv.
Okay, this is a very very small when you study here, but I have seen people getting confused. Okay, so when you will ask number of samples, they will tell you 5. You understand? This is a very small thing, but just to mention here, to keep in the mind, we would be using very much going forward in machine learning. Okay, I'll ask you how many number of samples, all these things. Okay, whenever you will do any project or something. Okay, keep this thing in mind. Now comes the variable. Can someone define variable from their not from stats, from whatever they understand till now, or not till now, but even in childhood you would have studied, or even in programming language, right? Variables are there. What do you think is a variable?
Variable is like in programming language, it is like a memory location where we store a value. It can take a different value as we assign it.
Okay, correct. Now that was in the programming language, but in stats we keep things simple. Okay, so in stats we called the variable as whatever we are going to study. Okay, and the condition is like it should be measurable, countable, or categorized. It should be in all these categories. We will see further subdivision of this, but mainly divided it into these parts. Okay, now you would say that what we are going to study. Just now we talk about, say, economical background. Okay, so there can be multiple variables in this. Okay, like what it can be, like for example, what is the annual salary of the people or monthly salary of the people, right? What is the number of persons in their house? That is can also be a variable. Okay, what is the name of that person? That is also a variable. You understand? So when we talk about salary, it is measurable, or you can say yes, it is measurable or countable. Now if you are talking about the name of that person, that can be categorized, or you can say not the name can be categorized, but say economical background. So we are just telling that someone is from middle class, someone is from high class, or lower middle class. Oh, this is just an example I'm giving. So you can categorize based on the things that you have asked them as a question. Okay, so you'll see it in details going ahead how the variables are subdivided. All these things are clear. Four things we have just put the name to what we have already discussed yesterday and today. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, in your short notes, okay, in the starting I told you guys to make a short note. So there, just write these two difference: sample size and number of samples. Okay, make a figure and mark it. Okay, mark it. Okay, now going ahead, we said that variables can be measurable, countable, or categorized. Okay, so whenever we are going to discuss variable, it is majorly subdivided into quantitative and categorical. Okay, quantitative and categorical. Now in data science mostly, or in stats particularly, we are going to talk about data. Okay, so variables are nothing but if I have to give you very vague type of visualization, then whenever you are going to talk about an Excel sheet or CSV, so the column, one column will represent one variable. You understand? So it can be either quantitative or categorical. The first division of variable can be seen as quantitative or categorical. What is a quantitative data? Data that can be measured. Okay, so measured, that means meaningful arithmetic calculation. And yes, measured as well as meaningful arithmetic calculation can be performed. Okay, though both the things are necessary. Okay, I'll give you an example which will tell you how. Okay, so the simple example could be like, if you are going to talk about height, weight, or for that matter about what is the salary, right? What is the salary? That is also quantitative. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Right, we are going to talk about say for example, in day-to-day life, we are looking at BMI, right? BMI of the people, right? Body mass index. That is also quantitative. Correct? Okay, there is a nice question. If for example I'm going to talk about my pin code, okay, 56, is it quantitative?
No.
Guys, I don't need pings, I need answers.
Postcode is not quantitative.
You have to give reasons why you are saying
It is
so.
because it doesn't change. It's a fixed value.
And
For the
you
Does
cannot
As we cannot
perform any
calculations
calculation on
with
it.
that.
yes, that
Even
is the
you
reason.
even you perform, it will not make sense.
Yes, yes, yes. That is the reason, and that is the reason I have written that though you can multiply it by 3, okay, but will that make sense? No, right? That is the reason we don't categorize the pin code as a quantitative data. By looking at it, if we don't know if it is a pin code, then we can say it is quantitative. But the moment someone defines it that this particular thing is a pin code, then we cannot tell it as quantitative data. You understand? So the definition also changes the type of the variable or type of the data. Okay, if it is quantitative or categorical. Is it clear to everyone why pin code is not quantitative? Very good example of stress on this point that makes sense to perform arithmetic calculation with. Okay, though this is numeric, but we cannot perform or we can perform, but that is meaningless, right? That is the reason we are not considering it as quantitative data. Is it clear, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Okay. Okay. Now coming on to categorical data. Okay. Now it is, this is the type of data that can be categorized as things, or you can say which cannot be quantized. Okay. For example, if we are going to talk about hair color, or for that matter, you can say anything like what is the name of your place? Okay, name of your place, or what is the grade that you got in the exam. Okay, if we are going to talk about the numbers that someone gets in exam, for example 78 or 98, then these are quantitative data. But if you are going to talk about the grades, A, B, A plus, B plus, all these things, that are categorical data.
Would gender come under categorical data?
Huh?
Gender?
Yes. You cannot perform any arithmetic operation. So here the division is very clear. Okay, here the division is very clear. When we go ahead and we further subdivide the things, there you may feel some confusion, but I'll clear that. Okay, here it is very much black and white. There is mostly no gray areas. Okay.
Yeah.
Like for example, I'll give more examples to this. For example, if I'm going to talk about the food choice, okay, what is your food choice? And for example, you think about anything while giving example, whatever the questions you are going to ask to a set of people, right? Those are the things. So for example, if I'm going to talk about food choice, what is the place of your origin? Okay, or what is the name of your company? That is nothing but categorical data. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now going ahead. Now see, we put divided data into quantitative and categorical. Similarly, that in data science we talk it as data. Okay, but in terms of variable, you can also tell it as a variable, right? So one column shows one variable generally in data science terms. Okay, so interchangeably you can use. Okay, so data, if I'm going to talk about, that is not related, not limited to only one column, right? Not related to only one column. For example, I may ask you what are the quantitative data in your or you can say what are the quantitative data columns. Okay, so you will give me the list of columns which are quantitative. Correct? Someone is pinging. Voice issues at my end. Clear now. Okay, cool. Okay, similarly, for if I have to ask you what is your categorical data, that simply means the set of variables or set of columns that contains categorical variables. Is it understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
okay, now that was that was, just give me 1 second, guys. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. So we subdivided the variables or data into two parts, quantitative and categorical. But further, what we are going to do is we are going to see what are the further subdivisions. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about quantitative variables, and further we are going to see the subdivisions of categorical also. Okay, so quantitative variables there are multiple divisions of quantitative variables. One of it is quantitative variable can be described as discrete and continuous also. Okay, as the name suggests, discrete means anything that can be measured with counting numbers, right? What I mean to say is, for example, if someone asks you, okay, like how many PCs you on, or how many laptops you on, you can tell 1 2, like that. You cannot say 2.5. You understand, right? So there is a discrete this is not allowed, right? This is not allowed. Now in between two numbers, there are no numbers, or you can say there are no quantities which is defined. So either it is 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. You understand? So that is, we are going to talk about that whatever refer to the variable that can be measured in certain numbers. So obviously you cannot measure like 20.5, yes or no?
So basically we can say this discrete numbers will never contain fractions. It will always be a whole number.
So okay, that is the you can say definition you are telling, but I'm intuitively telling you that whatever you can count, okay, so whatever you can count or counting numbers, that is discrete. Okay, why? Because in between there are no you can say points that we are going to talk about. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now on the other hand, continuous variables are that the variables which can take any values. So even in between the values also it can take. For example, if I ask you what is your weight, okay, or what is your height, okay, let's talk about weight first. Okay, now weight, you can tell me like 68. If I ask you give me precise value, you can tell me 68.23. You can if I ask you to give more precise values, and if you have the right kind of device, then you can give me much more precise values, 2 3 8 7 4 2, like that. Okay, you understand? So these type of things which we need to go beyond not only the whole number, but the decimal numbers also we need to consider. Then we talk about it as a continuous variable. Is it understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Discrete and
Yeah.
continuous. So just one thing in mind, that here points are not allowed, right? Someone rightly mentioned, and here points are allowed. Okay.
So Dhruv, to sum up, we can say that if we plot these particular points on a graph, so discrete value refers to a particular point or value at a particular instant, as compared to continuous, which is what you call spaced across a wide range of time spaced intervals.
Time space interval, I'm not sure what
I
you
mean, I'm
might
just
be right. Okay.
yeah, I'm just asking you to, if
Okay,
we
so
plot it in a graph.
This is how we plot the discrete, and if we have continuous variable, it would be a line. Why? Because all the things can be, all the things are there. Okay, possibility is there. Here there is no possibility. You understand? That is the reason we cannot plot in between 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, 3 and 4. You understand?
Exactly. That's what I was telling, that for particular instant we have only a particular value. There is no wide varieties or wide range of intervals, as compared to continuous, where considering a particular point there will be a continuous range of numbers at that particular instant.
No, then you need to think. See, at one instant, at one instant in continuous, there will only be one point, not the range. You understand? At one instant, even in continuous, there would be one point. Here in discrete, there is only one difference, that there can be either one point or no point. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah. For example, if I'm considering 1 and 2 on x-axis, I am taking this. So for example, on x-axis, if I'm looking at what is the point at 1.5, there is no point. Okay, you understand? For example, I'm saying, okay, because I can see that in between 2, there is no things that can be seen. Okay, so for example, this is 1, this is 2. So in between there is nothing. So even for x-axis, if we see, there is no point. So either presence or absence of that point. Going into the depth of what you asked. Okay, is it clear?
Okay, yes, Dhruv. So that means discrete value either will contain the value which we are looking for or no value at all as compared to continuous one.
No value as no. See, we don't go. You are going like reverse. Okay, we have the value and then we define it as discrete or continuous, not the other way around. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
We spoke about the absence only in terms of graph plotting. Okay, but what I'm saying is, for example, if you have a value which is discrete, this would be written as like only the whole numbers. Okay, so the plotting would be like that. Okay, but you cannot, you are not going to find out a number in between two values, or you will do. No, if we are going to say, for example, if we are going to talk about the number of people, right, we are not going to talk about 25.5. Yes or no?
Yeah.
We are only considering 25 or 26. Understood?
Okay. Yeah. Now got it. Okay.
Yeah. Now going ahead and looking at the categorical variables.
Dhruv, just a quick interruption. Sorry. For discrete data, we can think of its dimension, right? And that measured data we can be is continuous.
Measured data, continuous. You have to give more.
No, in terms of visualization. So I'm thinking from that background, as I belong to that background. So if we talk about the dimension, so discrete data cannot be aggregated. In short, but measured data can be aggregated.
Aggregated.
You cannot do like what to say.
See, I understand. You all know what is discrete and continuous, but you have to find the right words. That is what happens when you go for an interview. If you're not able to define what is going into your mind, then that is not a good interview, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, true.
Correct. So the best way is to give them an example. If you stuck somewhere, give them an example. No need to worry about the correct word. We all have that tendency. Okay, we are always in a hunt of giving the best answer. There is no best answer. Let me tell you why. I have seen. Okay, since we are talking about this, I'll tell you one secret about the interviews. Okay, what happens is whenever you go for an interview, okay, whenever you go for an interview, say for example, I asked one question, a conceptual question. Okay, so the interviewer who is asking this question, he would be expecting an answer in his own words. Yes or no?
Yeah, true.
This happens every time, correct?
True.
So no matter the answer that you give is best for you, it may not be best for him. That is a hard truth. Okay, we are very emotional. We usually get very emotional with our answers. That is not true. We should not be. Okay, so every individual has their own thinking about a particular thing. Okay, because they have also invested a considerable amount of time. Okay, what is the best way to overcome it? Examples. They cannot deny the example. For example, if you go ahead and define it, and then if you think that he's not agreeing or he's not nodding, then simply what you can do is you can throw an example. They cannot deny any example. Yes or no?
Yeah, true.
Right. In that way, you are in you can say you are in the same sync with that person. Okay, and that can save you. So instead of looking for the best word to describe the thing that he may ask, you may fail also. Why? Because you know that thing. I understand, but you may not get the right right word at right moment. Okay, he will tell you, okay, leave it. Next question he will ask. That means that question is gone. He will consider that you don't know that. Right?
True.
Usually that happens with creative people. Okay, that they fail to come up with the best word that they think. Okay, a perfectionist. Okay, so they always don't they always try to define things in a way, okay, their own way. If they don't try to do that, if they don't do that, they're restless. This happens or not?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So the best way to overcome that is to give examples. Even in your mind also, if you are confused, think about an example, and that will settle your confusion. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go ahead now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now we talk about quantitative variable. Now we are going to see categorical variable. Okay. So categorical variable are also multi-divided in different parts. But for now, let's see what is ordinal and what is nominal. Okay. So since we spoke about categorical variables, what are categorical variable? Can someone give me example of categorical variable?
Gender would be an example where we can categorize.
Yes. Grade also we spoke. Okay.
Yeah.
Color or all these things. Okay. Now, whenever, see, even in categorical variable, there can be a logical ordering. Okay. Logical ordering. This particular word is very much, you can say, important. Logical ordering, wherever we can do a logical ordering of the variable or the values that is present in that particular column. Okay. Then that is called ordinal variable. Okay. But wherever there is no logical ordering, that particular variable is called nominal. You understand what I'm trying to talk? Like, for example, letter grade can be can be ordered logically. With that, I mean A plus is better than A, right? A is better than B plus, B plus is better than B, and subsequently. Yes or no? That means there is a logical order. Correct?
Any other example?
Yes, I'll give you an example, but for now, is it clear?
Yes.
We can compare the categories in ordinal. Or we can compare the categories in ordinal.
Compare the categories in, yes. So one thing is that, but ordering, just you have to think about first the ordering. As per definition, it says like the logical ordering is there. And once you see that there is order, then only you can compare. Yes or no?
Yeah, so movie rating or restaurant rating comes under ordinal, right?
Movie rating or restaurant rating. Okay, yes, that is another example. See, I'll give you one example which will clear both ordinal, nominal, but let's see first, is it this particular example, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now coming on to nominal, no logical ordering, right? For example, color, we cannot say red is better than blonde, right? Or blonde is better than brown or anything of that sort. That would be bizarre to say. Yes or no?
Just a hypothetical question. Like, if we cannot categorize red is better than blonde and blonde is not better than brown, how would you expect us to categorize B is better than A or A is better than A plus?
No, that is a good question. But see, we have defined it in a way. You understand? These are not defined in a way that any color is better than other color. Okay. If you take it as B and A only, then this is not, this is not ordinal. But we have set it as a grade. And we know that one grade is better than other. Logical ordering is possible in letter grade. I have defined this particular variable as a letter grade. Yes or no? You understand?
In the school grade you're talking about, right?
Yes.
So you have put some people into A plus, stating that these are the brilliant people. A is average or something like that.
Right.
Okay, so can we consider that the data which A plus holds has some properties in it? That is why they are into A plus. Like they are studying well, so that is one of the property.
Yeah. So yes. See, only, but for now there can be multiple variables associated which is giving rise to this particular variable. But for now we are only considering this variable. Okay. We are not consider what constitutes that particular variable to become A plus. We are not talking about that, but we are only seeing that this particular variable is A plus, which is better than A or B plus or B or C or anything other than that. Okay. That is how we define grade. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So we define that this grade is going to be ordered. Okay, you understand? And one more thing, then you will say that why is not it quantized, or why is not it quantitative variable? You have to think. Okay, for example, I have not quantized how much better A plus is from A. Like for example, if I give you an example, 90 and 96, you can say 96 is 6 above than 90, right? Correct?
Yes.
But here, are we saying, at least for this variable, if you're looking, obviously there is going to be some criteria, okay, different criterias. But for now, by looking at this particular variable, can you say how much A plus is better than A?
Yeah, we can.
No, how much A plus is
how
better
much we
than,
wouldn't be able to tell that.
Right? So that thing. So logical ordering is in categorical variables remained in a way that, for example, okay, another example is, okay, that I was going to give. Before that, let me, okay, here no logical ordering we discussed. Someone someone can say, okay, you can here say that you can alphabetically, you can order it. Yes or no? You can come and say you can alphabetically order it. Let's say we have red, blonde, then green, okay, and any other color, yellow. Okay, so you can say, hey, you can alphabetically order it. Can someone answer? If I can alphabetically order it, will that be an ordinal?
No.
No.
Why?
Yeah.
Because we cannot measure, which color is better than other color.
Because yeah, that is one of the things. Another thing is
there is no logical ordering involved, I think.
Yeah, that's right. But having said that, if you can attach logic to it, for example, if I'm going to I see this, if you go a bit deeper, for example, if I'm talking about an experiment, okay, if I'm going to talk about an experiment in which, say for example, a red light, okay, red light creates more kind of sensation than blue, for that matter. For example, some atomic experiments are going on scientifically.
Can we say traffic signals for that matter?
Traffic signals, as in, you have to define.
No, I'm saying like traffic signal where red, green, and red, yellow, and green is there, where red defines something over there. So that's called as an ordinal.
No, obviously, see, definition is obviously different for each of this. Okay, it's not same. Okay, different definition is there, but you cannot say red is better than, at least in traffic case, or at least only if
I'm not saying red is better than yellow in that case, but I'm just saying that red signifies something.
So is blue and so is yellow and green.
That's right. So when it signifies something, that gets into an ordinal value.
Signifies? No. So that is the reason I told you. Even each of the color signifies something. Yes or no?
It does, but there is a situation where it
ordering is not there. There is no order, I am saying.
Dhruv, can we order them based on their frequency?
Also, right? Yes. When you can order them based on the frequency, that will be ordinal. For example, to give, that is the best example is, for example, if you are going to talk about let's say black, okay, and we are considering 10 different shades of black. So can we order it? Yes, I can order it based on, say, I'm not sure how the shades are ordered, probably related to pixels. Yes or no? RGB pixels, that so those things. So for example, the pixel density is more on a particular case and less on particular case. Yes or no? Then if you define in that way, then it is ordinal. Otherwise it is nominal. You understand?
Yeah, Dhruv.
Dhruv, if we are like arranging it or ordering it based on alphabetical or something, like, could be a silly question, but yeah, if we are doing that, then in that case, what will be, it's ordinal or nominal?
Alphabetical order.
Yeah, just a colors, like just arranging.
See, if your business problem that you are discussing if if you can define or you can give logic that you can do alphabetical order, then you can say it is ordinal. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, got
You
it.
understand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dhruv, I have the same question. Means the other guy was asking about that traffic signal colors. So there is some logic now that means if a red color turns on, then we have to stop, and if green color turns on, then we have to go. So there is logic. So
How will
it's
you
not
order? Okay, tell me, how will you order?
okay.
There
So
is
order,
action involved with each three color, right?
yeah,
With red color you stop, with yellow color you say you have to be ready, with green color you have to move, right?
yeah,
But how will you order it?
okay, okay. So the order is means ordering is important, right?
Correct. No, important is not, I'm not saying, but if you can
Mean,
order, it will be
if
ordinal.
yeah, got it.
Otherwise it will be nominal.
Yeah.
So what do we exactly mean by ordering over here in this situation?
Okay, so for example, to define it, for example, if you have a variable which, okay, so here if there is no order, here there is no order, right? That means red has same weightage as that of this, as that of this, as that of this. Yes or no?
Yes.
But here we know that a plus a plus contains more weightage than a than b plus. Similarly, you understand the difference?
Okay.
So the importance increases if we have order in place.
So in RGB values, there is nothing better than the other, right?
Nothing better.
There is
No.
logical ordering, but you can't say red is higher or lower than green.
So I did not say that. Okay, you are talking about this example?
Yeah, RGB, yeah, that.
So I just gave you the example that, for example, pixel densities, when we see for any color, we usually have three shades, right? R, G, B. So these are filters. I'm not talking about red, green, and blue, okay, and ordering of this. I'm saying we talk about R pixel, then G pixel, and then B. So variation in these pixels becomes one color. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking, for example, if we are talking about one color and we are taking 10 different shades of it, then we can say it is an ordinal. Why? Because one shade would be lighter, one shade would be darker. Yes or no?
Oh, okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
So if we sort the data like you said, right, add red, blonde, brown, green, right?
Okay.
So when you sort, you can add weightage. I mean, if you add a weight to it, that's ordinal. If you don't add a weight to it, that's nominal, right? Is that the right statement?
Add a weight.
As in, like, let's say red. I mean, if let's say red, green, and blue, we'll say that the higher the order, the more people are associated with it. Let's say red has more people are with red hair, less people are with blue hair, and somewhere in between is green.
No, so that doesn't qualify for being an ordinal. Okay, you understand?
Dhruv, can we call satisfaction like say ratings as a categorical and nominal?
Categorical, yes. You tell me, is it ordinal or nominal?
Like it comes like dislike, neutral and those things, right? In that.
Okay, I'll give you an example. For example, I ask you this question, like, how was your experience with us? Okay, for example, if you go to some restaurant and they ask you this question, there are two ways to answer. They will give you a fill in the blanks, okay, or they will give you three options or four. Bad, okay, then say very bad, good, very good, and then say neutral.
Yeah, satisfaction rating, correct.
Okay, Now, if you answer this question in a way that you're filling in the blanks, okay, if you're filling in the blanks and in a way that you are giving this answer, any of this, okay, so here there is logical ordering. We know that very good is better than good, very bad is worse than bad, right? Neutral is in between. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, but for example, I have not defined. Some people may write satisfactory. Have I defined this? What is the order of this? Satisfactory. Yes, I know it is somewhere in between, but I cannot define it. So what will be if I write it in this way? What it will be? Tell me.
Nominal.
Yes.
Numerical
This is nominal. And what is this?
That is ordinal.
Ordinal. Clear?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, clear.
One more thing. Okay, one more thing. Just to this is I used to make this kind of things just to keep in mind. Okay, when I was studying. So this is not scientific, but just telling you how to remember. Okay, how to remember this thing. Okay, so whenever there is logical ordering, so that will be ordinal. How do you remember? ORD means you say order, ordinal. No order, okay, nominal. Clear?
Yeah.
So satisfaction comes in the nominal, right?
Yes.
And the categories will come in the ordinal.
Ordinal.
Okay. Okay. Got
Okay.
it. Clear.
So how to remember is you can use this trick. Okay. Whenever you are seeing order, so ordinal, ORD, and when in order you have ORD, and no order means NO for nominal. Vishwa says size of t-shirts, small, medium, large, XL. You tell me. Okay, this is question from everyone. Is it ordinal or nominal?
Ordinal.
Ordinal.
Ordinal, correct.
Yes. Yes. So we know that large is in a size is measured more in all the measurements than medium, and subsequently from small or extra small. Yes. Correct.
Yes. It's
now there is one more thing. Quantitative variables are further subdivided into interval and ratio as well. Okay. Earlier, what we have seen, it was divided into discrete and continuous. There is one more division, that is for interval and ratio. Okay. Now we'll see what is interval. Okay. So interval we can call where there is order and difference between difference between two values is meaningful. You understand? We'll talk about what is it mean. Okay, but before that, let's go ahead and see what is ratio. We all know what ratio is, but the only thing that separates it is it has a clear definition of zero. Okay, clear definition of zero. So for example, in interval, I'm going to talk about temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, so temperature in Fahrenheit, so my temperature, or in Celsius for example, so I can consider minus 50 degrees Celsius. Yes or no? Right. So it can go negative also. Okay, and there is no clear definition of zero. Clear definition means, okay, for example, in interval there is no clear definition of zero. That means, for example, I am talking about 0 degrees Celsius. That doesn't mean there is no quantity present. So for example, Celsius is used to measure heat, correct? Does that mean at 0 degree there is no heat? Guys, okay, let's take it in this way. Okay, let's take it in this way, that for example, I'm talking about okay, there are 2 points. Okay, okay, so what we are going to see is, for example, Celsius. Okay, Celsius. Okay, degree Celsius. So you know the scale degree Celsius measures heat. Everyone knows that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what we are going to see is, for example, I am going to consider 0 degree Celsius. Okay. So that is, you know, 0 degree Celsius is, I think, the melting point, or sorry, freezing point of water. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But we also have minus 50 degrees Celsius, minus 100 degrees Celsius, right? Yes or no?
Okay, correct.
We have this value. That means interval can go beyond, I mean, go less than 0 also. Okay. But ratio cannot go less than 0. That means here there is no clear definition of 0. Here there is clear definition of 0. Clear definition means whenever any ratio quantity would be 0, that means there is no value present at that point. Absence of that particular variable.
Okay, ratio always starts from 1.
Huh?
Ratio always starts from 1.
No, don't go in that ratio. Okay, don't go in that ratio. Ratio here is, we are talking about quantity or variable, right? So we are talking about, currently ratio can be 0. In statistics, ratio can be 0. Okay. So for example, I'm going to talk about weight. Okay. So 0 weight means that quantity is not present. Yes or no?
Yes.
Length 0 means there is no length, correct?
Yes, but that cannot be a ratio, right?
No. So this ratio is not that ratio. You understand?
It's not like taking 1:10. It's not like that.
No, not that.
Okay.
That is mathematics. This is stats.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So ratio, whenever we are going to take, usually this is a kind of interval. So ratio has all the properties of interval, except it has one thing, that it has clear definition of 0. Okay. Here also difference is meaningful. Here also difference is meaningful. That means difference is meaningful means, for example, if I'm going to talk about, say, temperature, then 100 degrees C is more temperature than 50 degrees C. You understand? So difference is meaningful. Here it has difference is meaningful plus also a clear definition of 0.
It's kind of ratio is the fixed one and interval can be vary. Correct?
No. So both are different. Ratio is, it can vary. When you say that it can go beyond 0 is why you are saying, correct?
Why? Because 90 to 95% that will fall under interval. So the ratio is nothing but example. Maybe you have mentioned the weight. So it will be
no. Wait. So here you have to consider one thing, very important thing, that clear definition of 0 is present here. Okay. Clear definition of 0 means whenever this quantity would be 0, anything which we are discussing in ratio would be 0. That means none of that quantity is present at that particular point. You understand? That is the reason we have taken temperature in Kelvin as ratio and not interval. Why? Because if you see 0 Kelvin, there is no, I think till the last I checked, okay, why it is considered in ratio is, when you consider about 0 Kelvin, there is no physical quantity or gas which is existent beyond 0K, below 0K. Okay, there is only above that. You understand? So there is nothing below 0K. You cannot say minus 1K. Okay, that is the reason. That means 0K means absence of that particular quantity, and that is the reason Kelvin, temperature in Kelvin is a ratio. This is a controversial, you can say, example, but then also I chose it here so that it will, define it for you. Okay. Similarly, weight, 0 means no weight. Length, 0 means no length. Yes or no? But if we talk about 0 degrees Celsius, then there is some kind of quantity. Why? Because even minus 50 degrees Celsius is there. That means this particular 0 degree is more, has more heat than minus 50. Yes or no?
Yes, but in real time, what is the use of the ratio?
What is the
use of ratio?
No,
so
no. Okay. Tell me, ask your question.
Because in real time interval, maybe we can tell like, okay, I am confident for the 90 to 95%. I thought like a ratio is nothing but fixed one. So this is my weight, only the 55, I can say. So maybe you can correlate with the real time.
I'll give you the example. Real time, see, real time in which, for example, if I have told you that that variable is a ratio, okay, so even though you have some values and you have got few values in minus, then you can discard it saying ratio cannot be negative. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that is one of the things. Okay, and other thing is we are just we are learning the tools. Okay, we need to, why we are learning is we need to differentiate, okay, when we are dealing with intervals and when we are dealing with ratio. You understand?
Yes, I totally agree. So that's what, like, I mean, whatever you had given the examples till now, it is good. Maybe if it is with the real time scenario, that is more understandable.
So I'll give you example. I haven't finished.
Okay.
Yet.
Sorry.
Dhruv, one more thing. So ratio at 0 is always the null value, right?
Null value, yes. You can say in a way, yes. That means that quantity is not present there. Not null, but that quantity is non-existent. Whatever we are going to
non-existent, exactly.
Yeah.
But interval beyond 0 is possible, and there is a meaning, and there is a that can happen.
Yeah.
But ratio at 0 is the last, and it's non-existing kind of.
Existing of that particular variable, which, for example, we are going to talk about heat. Then yes, 0 is that means 0 Kelvin means heat is not present, but 0 degree Celsius, that doesn't mean heat is not present, right? That means that is warmer than minus 50 degrees Celsius. You understand?
Yes.
So in ratio never falls below 0. Interval may fall. Okay, that is the biggest difference. Okay, so I'm going to give examples. So is it clear till now?
Ratio cannot be 0 as well, right?
Again, I'm saying that is not the ratio in mathematics that we talk.
No, you have written has a clear definition of 0, so that point is not clear to me.
Clear definition of 0 means whenever for that variable what we are talking about, if we give the value as 0, that means that particular variable is not present. That doesn't mean it cannot be 0, is what I'm saying. We talk about 0 Kelvin, yes or no?
Yes.
Non-existent, that means we need to define it. 0 is there, but no one can have a weight with 0. Yes or no?
Yes.
Similarly, length cannot be 0. In a way, you can say yes, but here the definition is present. Okay, clear definition of 0 means we have defined the quantity 0 as whenever we will say 0, that means that quantity is not present. You understand? Okay, this is going okay, let me define. Whenever 0 was in mathematics also, when the 0 was announced, okay, why was it discovered, or you can say it was kind of introduced? Aryabhatta introduced 0, right? You all know, correct? Why 0 was introduced?
No value.
No value, correct? That means whenever we will attach 0 to any quantity, that means that quantity is not present. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So similarly, when in data terms, whenever we are going to talk about any quantity, say for example, what you can say, let's say we are going to talk about any family. Okay, so we are going to interview different families. Okay, so family 1, family 2, family 3, like that. And say for example, we are asking them number of children. Okay, so some people can say 2, 1, some people can say 0. Yes or no? Right? So I'm just talking about 0 here, not ratio and interval here. But for example, let's say some people said 0. That means this particular quantity that we're discussing is not present. Correct? You understand what I'm trying to say? That means here the clear definition of 0 is there. Okay. Now, for example, if I'm going to talk about degree Celsius, okay, degree Celsius as another thing. Okay, that 0 means we cannot say that it is not present. Why? Because if another another value is -50, that means it is hotter than -50. That means here that 0 does not define that this quantity is not present. Okay.
So Dhruv,
can we say like that for the ratio 0 is equal to 0, but in the case of
yes,
other one 0
yes,
is not equal to 0?
yes, precisely. Okay.
Dhruv, can we say timing, like say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock is
Yes.
a ratio, or can we say timing 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock is a ratio?
So no, so time, if you see, if you have clock with hands, okay, so that comes under interval.
Okay, so it is not, it is a count figure, right? So that's why
So
1 o'clock,
there
2
is,
o'clock.
so there is no clear definition of 0. That means non-existent quantity cannot be there at any point of time. If you see your watch, there would be some time. Yes or no?
Okay, yeah, got it.
Correct. And another way of looking at it is, for example, if I am going to talk about any interval, now it comes like, say, family income range, right? Family income range. Now that range, okay, usually we talk about, interval in this ways, okay? Similarly, what you can say, anything, for example, if we are going to talk about, any score which goes in negative, for example, cat, you people write cat, correct? Even people who score 0 is better than who score -24. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? That means this 0 is not defined, how better it is. So for example, it is better than people who is scoring negative. So, but in another, say, this is cat versus my 10th class exam of anything, say social science, okay, for that matter. If it is of 100 marks, no people can go beyond, below 0. Yes or no? That means cat can be a ratio, cat, cat sat or whatever you can say. This cannot be a ratio. This is kind of one of the, categorization you can say, okay, not used in that way, but you should know these things, okay? You should know these things so that whenever a variable is defined for you, you are confident enough to discard it, okay? Tomorrow people may confuse you why you are saying this. You have to be very logically clear, okay? You understand now what we are saying? Now giving example is better, okay? So for you, this example you can give cat score, okay?
One more, Dhruv. What we can say speed as a interval, or because speed has a 20 kilometer per hour, like that, 30 kilometer per hour.
Okay, can you go below 0? -24 can you go?
No, minus will not possible, but 0 it is possible. Like say this car is stopped.
So 0 is possible, yeah, but minus is not possible, right? So what particular thing it will be? It will be ratio. Yes or no?
Okay, yeah, ratio, correct.
0 means there is no speed. Speed is 0. Definition of 0, you mean that that quantity is non-existent at 0.
But this will not hold in the case of velocity, right?
Yes.
This will not hold in the case of velocity, because
not hold in the case of velocity. Yes, you are right. Why? Because velocity is a vector, correct? And vector can be negative also. Yes. You understand who asked this question? So
yeah,
when we talk about velocity, yes, that is a vector quantity. It can be negative also, okay? Because it depends on directions also, okay? Okay, can we go ahead now, guys?
Yes, Dhruv.
Yes.
Yeah.